I thought it was just a simple virus, I'd go to the hospital, get prescribed medicine, and maybe a week later I'd be fine. They found something wrong with my heart, where they couldn't get a good heart pressure.
He had not been feeling well, and it's not surprising that he had not been feeling well because he was slowly going into heart failure.
They started running all kinds of tests all day long, into the night.
After an injury, the heart often goes through a series of changes, and by now his heart was enlarged in all the 4 chambers. He had even formed a blood clot in his main pumping chamber, and his what we call left ventricular ejection fraction, which is normally between 55 and 70, was 17%.
I hopped in my truck. Well, of course, cell phones were talking constantly on the way down, back and forth. We talked, and he was hungry, and he wanted something to eat and drink.
Then all of a sudden he was having a problem breathing, and he stopped breathing, and his head just went back.
I was not on call that night, but Dr. Dan Layers did have my cell phone and my numbers, and around 7 o'clock in the evening he called me that he had gone into cardiac arrest. So I immediately informed him not to stop doing CPR until I got there.
It just seemed like forever, and they had a lot of people in there, and it seemed like 2 hours they were pumping his chest to keep him going until Dr. McBride showed up.
I became involved in the case when I was called by Dr. Hasday regarding this young man that was over at Winter Park Hospital who was in full cardiac arrest. They'd been doing CPR for over an hour.
Once he was able to come in and place the patient on ECMO, I remained cautiously optimistic.
We put him on extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, or ECMO, through the groins to reestablish blood flow to his body and oxygenate him.
36 hours later or so, he woke up, and Dr. McBride became very excited because he gave us a window to implant a left ventricular assist device.
The ECMO support is good just for a relatively brief period of time. He needed more advanced support to treat his underlying heart disease, and so I put in a left ventricular assist device.
And about 5 days later, I finally came to and opened my eyes, and I could consciously remember stuff and what was going on around me.
When he woke up, he couldn't talk. He had it was a bent tube down his throat, and hurry up and ran out and got a dry erase board and a marker, and he just started dotting his I's and crossing his T's.
He's still facing an unknown future at this point in time, but he's very mature, and he's always stepped up to the plate to do whatever we've asked him.
Everyone's been really, really good to me. Treat me like family. All the nurses downstairs at CVICU said that I was their little son.
I just couldn't imagine life without him, and I just knew it wasn't going to be. I mean, it wasn't going to be that way. I knew they were going to save him.
God was definitely looking out for me, and I'm still thinking about it till this day, how lucky I am.